Live from the Mounds Mall Special Events Studios, it's Track Talk on News Talk 1240 WHBU, Fox Sports 1340, and 102.9 in Muncie. Now here's Rick and Gary with everything you need to know about Anderson Speedway and Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
Good evening. Welcome to Track Talk. Rick Dawson, Gary Mong, live from the Mounds Mall studio, special events studio. Yeah, we got a producer just thinks he's it.
He is.
We're here for the next 30 minutes to talk about some racing in the area.
Boy, did we do a lot.
Oh, my gosh. I talk about people's going to get tired of me, think that I'm just begging for sympathy, and I am. I'm wore out.
And another big one. Another big one. But boy, it was great.
I tell you.
It was great.
In just over a month, we had the Little 500, the Redbud 300, a huge street stock 200 lap race, and last weekend with the
4th of July weekend
was just, it was a lot. It was fun and it was great, and boy, do we ever thank the folks for coming out, and everybody had a good time. By and large, just about everybody. We had some technical problems Friday night with the PA system, and I'm sorry about that with the fireworks, because the fireworks, I
usually
don't like fireworks without music, but they were still great.
Yes, they were.
But I promise you, Labor Day weekend we'll have music, and I'm already talking to the fireworks people. You're going to be really, really impressed. If you liked them the 4th of July, every time I try to up it, well, this one I think I'm going to go just an extra step.
Was you always, when you was a little boy, you really loved fireworks? Because you still got this little boy in you about the fireworks. I can just tell every time we have them, you really just all excited about them.
Going over to Makepeace Park over in Chesterfield and watching the fireworks every year was just kind of a tradition. You said, look,
right.
But they really never did that much. But I kind of get into the fireworks now.
You do.
But I get into it because of the music, and that was what was disappointing for me Saturday night. But not for the kids and all the other folks there, because it was really neat standing at the front gate when everybody left and talking to everybody and getting the good comments that we got.
The company that puts that on, that grand finale, we were down there on the track watching down there, and we're all like, when's this going to end? It just kept going and going and going. It was spectacular. It was great.
Well, it was a great night. I didn't get to see any of the racing. When we have a crowd like that, I'm going everywhere. I did everything from sell and serve stock beer and Pepsi and everything else, helping and selling tickets and I didn't sell, but I was out front helping direct pedestrian traffic. We just it was a fun, great night, and thanks to everybody that come. I hope you had a great time, because all indications were we did. And I understand we had a great World Winged Outlaw Figure 8 race.
Yes, we did.
Winged Outlaw Figure 8 Series. That's what
we
it's
had
called.
Some really good drivers in it, and they put on a really good show.
We had a lot of quality cars,
yes, we did.
And they're going to be back on July the 26th, along with the CRA Jig Series, in their tune-up for the National Crown that's coming up a month from tomorrow.
Yes.
Actually.
That's hard to believe that's going to be here. So we got some more big shows coming up here this month and the first and next month. They just never stop.
We had, like 4 different divisions Friday night?
We added front-wheel drive ovals Friday night. I think we had front-wheel drive ovals, the front-wheel drive figure 8s, and the World of Outlaw Figure 8 Series, and the trailer races.
The Tom Raper RV's trailer race.
Yes.
And the World, it's Winged
I'm sorry, I keep on calling World.
Series, won by a veteran driver, good guy, R.J. Norton Jr.
Yes, he is. I think I read somewhere that he's won it when he ran the Outlaw Figure 8 cars at the track. He's won at least 12 times or something of that nature. So he knows how to get around Anderson Speedway in the Outlaw Figure 8 car.
Mike Hadley was second. Ben Tunney, who is a great supporter whenever we have these cars at the track, finished third. R.J. Norton, the third, finished fourth. And it's good to see an old veteran that hadn't been racing at the Speedway for several years. Doug Gregg came down and raced with us Friday night, and he finished in fifth, so it was great to see him there.
I think we had 17 strong, so it was a good one.
That's a good car count for that race. I know people, you hear a lot about you didn't have any cars, or the car counts were low or anything. But when you think about when you have more cars than that, I mean, if we'd had another 3 or 4 cars, we'd had to have a last chance race, because 20 is about all of those that you can start on that track and do it and put on a good feature. But it doesn't really matter how many cars you got, as long as the competition's good and the race is exciting.
And it was.
And that definitely was. We also had the front-wheel drive figure eights, and it looks like it was Nick Warner night again.
Nick Warner, but he had a lot of competition from Kevin Henson Jr. Or Kevin Henson. I don't know if he's a junior or not, but Kevin Henson.
Randy Hoppus won the second heat. Nick Warner pretty much took qualifying in the first heat and the feature. And
but it was an exciting one. Those guys, he and Kevin have put on a spirited battle all season long, and that continued on Friday night.
I think Randy Owens leading points in that division, if I'm not mistaken. Then we had front-wheel drive oval race, and Jared Keller had the fast time. Ron Phipps, who doesn't, a past champion, won the first heat. Josh Tharp in the 52 car of Mike Whitaker won the second heat, and Josh won the feature.
First time Josh had been in a front-wheel drive in quite a long time, and he said he had a ball doing it. He had a lot of fun.
Hats off to Dylan Hoppus, who finished third.
Yes.
Had some incidents. We're going to talk a little bit about track discipline a little later in the show. Then we had 7 trailers this time, and I'm going to have a talk with our trailer designers before we have our next trailer race. It was good. I mean, it was okay. Yes. It wasn't the best one, but we're lacking a little bit in creativity. And I blame myself, because we didn't get on this until late and talk to the guys. But Lucas Brown out of Noblesville won the race in the 77. But my hat's off to Bobby Bear, who's the Bear family is a name that's just been at Anderson Speedway forever. And Bobby, without me even knowing it or anything, and we prefer the, if you want to do something like this, we can help. But he done it, and I didn't even think about Friday night. It's a great thing. Parked his vehicle and trailer right up at the front gate and let the kids, or anybody that wanted to for that matter, sign the hood and sign the truck before the race. And he was just having a ball with them folks while they were doing that, and I think that's pretty cool. And he ended up finishing second. But Randy Owen, I thought he was crazy to start with. He drove his wrecker as the pull vehicle, so
it was towing a car. Yeah.
You can't see these folks, but a good friend of mine, his wife and family just walked by. My euchre partner on Wednesday afternoons at the Shrine Club, Bill Sutton in Thelma, his wife just walked by. Bill is 95 years old and
still going strong.
Best euchre player in Madison County. So they're going to the MCL for supper. But the trailer race was, the Tom Raper RV's trailer race was good, and it'll be even better come the next time we have it. So that was Friday.
That was Friday night, and then all capped off with the big fireworks show. So we had a great time.
And of course, PA went out right after the Outlaw feature, and we got it back up right when everybody was leaving. But Nick Adams up in the tower, our sound man, got everything fixed, and we were ready to go on Saturday night when we had the CRA Late Model Sportsman. And the last couple of races we've had with our mechanical engine late models and the CRA, we ran 100 laps just a few short weeks ago, were great races. And I'm not going to say this wasn't a great race, because it was certainly exciting for the fans, but I don't know if our drivers just took non-driving pills, we'll be polite about it, or what. But it was not pretty if you're a true diehard race fan.
Yeah,
right from the start, I actually, for the first time since our new configuration with our personnel, had some time, so I went up and sat beside the turn 2 beer stand where you got a good view of the track, and was going to watch the race, and I made it to 53 laps and finally had to give up. But I just seen the 83 car of J.D. Crabtree, I think, was on the pole or on the front row, and I could just, up there from my angle, I could see him go real high and sideways up in turn 1. And
in front of the pack.
And that just messed
the
it
chain
up.
reaction.
I mean,
Yes,
it was, 8 or 9 cars?
Yes.
And the guys in the back were driving over their hoods, not watching. I know the back markers had to go by at least 1, maybe 2 caution lights before they plowed into the mess. And I don't know, maybe 5-Star made a deal with these guys or something for body parts, but it was not a pretty start by any stretch of imagination.
But hats off to those drivers and those crews there. There was 20 cars that started that feature, and once we got everything cleared up and they went back and did some repairs, we had 18 out of the 20 starts. So hats off to those guys that
they worked hard to get the cars back in the race.
They sure did.
And you can talk about the race. I mean, once we got re-going, it was a good battle for the lead up front for quite a bit of the race. It was a 75-lap feature.
It was.
And Danny Trent started back in the field, and when it finally sorted itself out and everything, Jack Dawsey III, who's a young new driver, this is his first year in a late model, is doing a tremendous job. In fact, I think he might even be leading the points. I'm not sure.
I think he's leading both our series and the McGonigal series. And
had
the
a good lead. Danny Trent had a very fast race car, and I don't know what to say, but I mean, he just drove right through him going into turn 3.
Yeah.
And which took Jack Dawsey III out of the race.
We've said it many times over, Rick, and both for the late models and the street stocks, actually in all of our divisions, there is 2 groups at that track. So many drivers have proved that they can pass on the outside. There are some drivers that just doesn't think that works for them.
I don't
I don't understand it. But
I don't understand, because his reasoning, I mean, it was a CRA officiated race, even though it was a McGonigal points race also, which I've had discussions today, as a matter of fact, with CRA. We will be involved in the decision-making process, because when that all happened, it was so blatantly dumb. There's no other way to put it. It was just so blatantly dumb that when Trent, of course, it messed up Jack Dawsey's car real bad, but when Trent went back in the pits and he stopped right in front, just down from Dawsey's pits instead of going to his pit stall to change the flat tire, I actually went on the radio and told Ed that we park him for being that dumb. And of course, it wasn't his call. He passed the word on to Daniel, and they didn't, and he went back out, and he ended up finishing 4th in that race. But hats off to Jason Atkinson ended up winning that race.
He did.
But hats off to Billy Van Meter, because he was involved, I think, in that first lap problem. Finished that race without a doghouse on the front of the car and finished in 2nd place.
He drove his tail off.
And Greg Van Alst, who I don't know how, because he's usually snake bitten right in the middle of that, he was able to get out of it and have a good finish in 3rd place.
Coming off the win of the 100-lapper here 3 weeks ago.
Danny Trent finished 4th, and then Kent Balich out of Alexander had a good top 5 finish. But congratulations to all those guys. But and it'll be coming out, I think. It may be already be on CRA's website, but it's going out on their point sheets that the driver of the 14 has been put on probation, 0 tolerance probation for the rest of the year. And his explanation to Daniel was just mind-boggling to me. My car won't work on the outside, so they need to get out of my way. Well,
that's not how racing works.
It's not. It might work in a demolition derby, but it's not going to work in a $30,000 or $40,000 race car. No. And we're putting an end to it. So we'll see what happens next time he shows up, because 0 tolerance probation means you don't have any more chances.
That's right,
partner. We also had the Thunder cars on the track on Saturday night with. Curtis Chapman set fast time. Robbie Wyman won the first heat. Randy Hoppus won the second heat. And Robbie Wyman ended up winning the feature. Robbie's had a really fast car all year. There was an incident, I understand, with Randy Hoppus and
Curtis
Chapman, which will not be tolerated also. So there's going to be some discussions held about that. And like I said, I'm going to get into this part of it after the break, but that was the Thunder cars. We had the front-wheel drive ovals in action Saturday night. Dylan Hoppus, who seems to be on a little bit of a roll now. He's getting the experience under his belt, actually tested a Thunder car a couple of weeks
Did
ago.
he?
So, and I really would like to see Dylan in a Thunder car because I think he's
capable
of doing it. He set fast time. Randy Owen won the first heat race. Jared Keller won the second. And Dylan Hoppus won the feature. I think that's his second this year.
Second one, I believe, this year, yes.
Billy Hooton was back in the 52 car, and he finished second. Jared Keller was third. Jerry Dane, who is the points leader in that division, finished fourth, and Randy Hoppus finished in fifth. And we also had a bunch of Indy fast karts.
We did. It was 13 or 14 of them.
Yeah, had a good race. And Dustin Cares had fast time. Angie Gooden won the heat.
She's such a sweet
She
gal.
shows them how to do it. She is a great promoter for racing.
She sure is.
Jason Reynolds finished second, or won the second heat, and then Dustin Cares fast time. Was it Dustin or Brad? Dustin won the feature. And where did Angie? Angie finished eighth. What happened?
It was crowded. I mean, they were in a pack all through that whole feature there. So it's exciting to watch those fast karts on that track. It really is. I talked to the dad. I think is it Brad or Brian? Did you say of Dustin? Because he was in the top three, or I don't know where he finished, but he came up there with his pictures with his son. And I was talking to him. I said, "How is it like out there?" He said, "It's very intense, very fast, but it's a lot of fun."
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you about a couple of changes, and the fans have spoken, and I'm going to let you know what we're doing about it. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. We'll be right back.
It's race season again. Whether you're a circle track, street and strip, or drag racing fan, McGonigal Engine Performance is your one-stop engine center. With state-of-the-art facilities including engine and chassis dyno services, McGonigal Engine Performance builds power to win. If you're looking for performance out of your street rod, import, or restoration project, McGonigal Engine Performance sells, installs, and tests a wide range of accessories and upgrades. Look for our ad in Great Deals Coupon magazine or find us online at McGonigalEngines.com.
Rain, water, rain, water.
Here it comes again, along with all that trash and pollution. This is Emmis, the Madison County Stormwater Awareness Frog. Did you know that April is Stormwater Awareness Month? When it rains, lawn chemicals, cigarette butts, dog poop, oil, chemical drips, and spills are all washed in the storm drain. All that eventually ends up in the river, and that's my home. The solution to pollution starts with you. Stay on top of every drop and know where it flows. Together we can keep the rivers and streams of Madison County clean. To learn simple steps to help keep our waterways clean and a list of my special community appearances, visit mcstormwater.org and look for all the exciting events and information happening during Stormwater Awareness Month. You can also become my friend on Facebook. Go to mcstormwater.org for the link, and remember, Emma says, stay on top of every drop and help keep our waterways clean.
The next time you need car or truck service on one of your vehicles, take it to Motion Motors in Middletown. The folks at Motion Motors will have your car running great. And at Motion Motors, you will find no high-pressure sales to get you to buy a car or a truck. Just down-to-earth folks selling you the best cars at the best price. And here at Anderson Speedway, the Motion Motor folks with Jackie Neal and his crew take care of our drivers' parts right here at the track. Motion Motors, they are great folks to work with, and they are at 4810 North County Road 400 in Middletown. Great Deal Savings Magazine has been a backer of racing in Anderson Speedway for over 40 years. Great Deal Savings Magazines know the value of racing as a great family venue and know that its fans are the best people in the world. Great Deal Savings Magazines now producing over 40 magazines and serving over 80 cities in the Midwest with the finest in coupon savings through their direct mail marketing of Great Deal Savings Magazines. Mailing nearly 1 million homes each month, Great Deals is leading the way in direct mail marketing. Great Deal Savings Magazine, proud of Anderson Speedway and what it does for the economy and race fans in Anderson and the Midwest. Now branded under the name of Great Deals, Shop Smart Magazine, Lake City Saver, and Gator Saver.
When I was a boy, we had family pitch-in dinners on Sunday, so I knew on Saturdays Mom would be in the kitchen baking pies. and especially sugar cream pies. I will never forget pulling a chair up to the table. I always turned the chair around back so I could perch on my knees while watching Mom take her fingers and flute the pie crust. You know, that little squiggly thing all the way around. And of course, after the pies were baked, we would beg and plead with Mom, only to have her put her foot down and say, nope, we were not going to get any pie until everybody came by tomorrow. But on Sunday at the family gathering, that first bite of pie was always worth the wait. Mom's a little older now, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy freshly made sugar cream pies together. Now, instead of Mom making them, I pick up a Wix sugar cream pie. They use simple, fresh ingredients because of Wix rigid freshness standards. The wholesomeness and taste of their pies is better than Mom's. But don't tell her I said that. Now you can pick up a Wix sugar cream pie at most of your local grocery stores. Just look for them in the frozen dessert aisle. I'm Brownie, and I can honestly say about Wix pies, you don't just eat them, you enjoy them.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests, and not this station.
I have no clue.
Okay, name that tune, Mr. Mong.
I have no clue.
That's hippie music. We're back. Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
Can't you just see way back in the studio and just hand?
Yeah, he's a jamming. I can see him. Just a programming note. If you go to the Must See Racing website, July the 31st, the Payless Little 500 will be aired on Comcast. Now, I'm not real sure how this rates. It's on Channel 81. It says July 31st, but then it also says Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday. But it's also on demand, so you can go to Comcast Channel 81 and you can get all the information.
Cool.
So July 31st. That's still a few weeks away.
I can watch that.
You can. Now, I mentioned before we went to the break, a couple of weeks ago we made a change out the tower. It was a mutual change, and I think a very good one. Ed Faust, who's been our safety director and still is
40 years
at the track, longer than I've probably been alive. No, actually, he graduated with my wife Brenda, so Ed's been out there
about
for
40 years,
almost 40 years. Is now moved to the tower and has also assumed the duty of race director.
Yes.
And Kenny Wright, who was our race director, is now got the title of chief steward. So he's pretty much got the power hand, as if that's what you want to say. In the last couple of weeks, Kenny's been getting his feet wet, back in the pits and listening to, some of the stuff that I'd been listening to. And we've determined that we might have a few bad apples in the bunch, not very many, but just a few.
Right.
And Kenny spent the last couple of weeks, talking to these individuals and, trying to explain to them the situation and trying to give them a chance. And now those that were on zero tolerance are really on zero tolerance. So, if you don't want to abide by the rules and you want to continue just to come out just to cause trouble or whine, and I'm telling you, whining should be right at the top of the list because we got a couple every week that comes in and whine. I'm going to put a big sign up in front of the pits, no whiners allowed. You'll be gone. I mean, you just won't be. You can watch the races, with a Pepsi out front and watch the guys that are and ladies that are out there to race and put on a show
and
for the fans.
Fun.
Because most the few, and I'm talking about it's a very few, and I'm talking about maybe two or three at most, that are thinking only about themselves and not about the fans. And I've had, not a lot, but I've had several fans that kind of like when you were
I'd come
just
to
a
you,
fan.
yes.
You would come to me with suggestions, and I would listen, and we would, and who you can listen to and who you don't, and who doesn't have favorites. And, they're getting a little tired of some of the stuff that they see at the track. We've had a lot of great races this year, more than we've had bad ones. But, the bad ones we've had, some of those have been caused just by stupidity. We actually have, and this is stupid, I have drivers come up, and Kenny had one the other night that has said, I'm just going to go out there and take them out. Well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're going to do it or not, first of all, it's premeditated. Second of all, you could hurt that person. You could hurt one of my track members.
Hurt yourself.
You could involve an innocent car, or, God forbid, you do something really bad and parts or cars or whatever goes in the stands and you hurt somebody else. That's nothing but self-centered egotism, and it won't work at Anderson Speedway. That place will humble you to your knees, and we're going to help provoke that. So, a couple of the bad situations, they're either going to get fixed, and hopefully they do, because
we won't see them race
these
out there.
People that do this are good racers.
Yes,
if they would just go out and race. But unfortunately, Facebook and social media has taken over some of these people that have no lives and no time to do anything else. Get on there and they get all fired up all week, and then come Saturday night, it's not about the racing or race car. It's about, what was said on Facebook, and he said, she said, and it just, I'm tired. If I wanted to have owned a daycare center, I'd have bought a daycare center. So we're done with it. We're not going to eliminate all the problems, and heaven knows that you are not going to be happy with everything that happens, and that's normal. I mean, something would be wrong if but it's not being happy because of stupid things that really makes it bad.
And even back in the days when you'd have the spirited rivalries and the competition and the into that nature there, that's fun to watch. But even back then, at least they did it in a manner that they weren't trying to.
They did it as men instead of cowards.
Yeah, and here they can go out and do the same thing.
And this goes
race
for pit
your
crews
race,
too.
And if you win it fair and square. If you don't, there's next week.
And a lot of times it carries over to the pit crews, and 9 times out of 10 it's either a boyfriend of the female driver or a wife or girlfriend of the male driver that just has, they have nothing to do with driving the race car, but they're back there to stir up and show that they're the big person, and all they're doing is make themselves look
this
small.
This is supposed to be a hobby to have fun,
it
so
is.
My gosh, go out and have some fun.
This Saturday night, but that's enough said about that. We're going to the Speedway and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, it's still fun, trust me. This Saturday night, we got another fun night. If you'll remember the last time the CRA Street Stocks were there, we put on one heck of a 200-lap show. They're there for 75 laps this Saturday night, so you want to be sure and be there. We also have the Thunder Cars. We're going to have the front-wheel drives and the Figure 8, and the Thunder Roasters will be back this Saturday night. Gates open at 5, racing at 8 o'clock this Saturday night. So
fun night.
It looks like, this time of year, it's summertime weather, so we could get an afternoon shower or whatever, but you can rest assured I'm watching the weather pretty close myself, too.
After a couple weeks ago, we don't want to get bit like that again.
But it's going to be a fun night again. It's Cow Appreciation Night. The Herald Bulletin is our sponsor.
And Amy's got stuff.
And Amy's got all kinds. Cow Appreciation. There's not too many racetracks that have a Cow Appreciation Day.
I don't know if there's any.
It's neat to be a part of such a great facility, and we're having a lot of fun this year. Despite the issues, there's 100 or 1,000 good things to every one bad thing that happens on the racetrack.
They're not going to damper us or deter us. We'll keep on going forward.
We're having a blast, and this Saturday night will be no exception.
That's right.
Again, it's the CRA Street Stocks, the Thunder Cars, front-wheel drives, and the Figure 8 and Thunder Roasters. That's all this Saturday night at Anderson Speedway. Congratulations to Brandon Jones, who won the ARCA race over at Winchester this past Sunday.
Great finish.
Got to, that was a last lap pass.
Yes.
We got to go over and actually watch that. And we had a great gospel concert Sunday night with Brother Jim Warner, and great music last Sunday night at the track. And I want to thank him and for all the work he put into that.
I need to say hello to Aunt Jenny real quick. Hi, Aunt Jenny.
Better. So with that, we pretty much wrapped up our time. Got any thoughts or suggestions, email me at the racetrack, and we'll talk about them. You've been listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Oh, and welcome back to Murph and Barb from Florida. They arrived today, and they'll be in the trailer at the track. Our security, 24-hour security is back at the racetrack. You've been listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Have a great week, and we'll see you at the racetrack.